Welcome to Tech Abilities, produced live in the Blind Abilities studio. I want to thank all of you for listening and for sending in your feedback. It's well appreciated. And if you want to send us some feedback, give us a call at 612-367-6093. Leave a message. We'd love to hear from you. Or send us an email at info@blindabilities.com. Be sure to check out the show notes for all the tech tidbits and news that we cover in this episode. And you can use chapters. If your podcast player of choice has the chapters feature, go ahead, nibble away at this episode, or take it all in one big meal. That's the way it was designed. And chapters work good, and we love to make that feature available. So without further ado, let's get this show started.
So Callie is an app hoarder.
I want to see what's in that useless folder. Sounds good.
Rumor has it.
I'm glad that I did not describe it, because I would have started out with, it's like a vegan salad bar on wheels, you know.
So the vehicle arrives, and I have my cat in the cat carrier, and the dude opens the trunk.
Oh, God.
Jeff, are you there?
He fell asleep.
But now that I have Ira, I go to my concierge box with confidence now.
Ira, A-I-R-A.
And of course, movie theater popcorn.
We have gone to the movie theater just to buy the movie theater popcorn and brought it home.
Are you serious?
Are you serious?
Hey, Trey.
Hello.
Hey Trey, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
What's up?
Why has it been so long that I can't even remember the last time we did this?
The holidays, right, Mars?
Yeah, the holidays.
Wow. That is so long. Bye.
We better get that Halloween one out next episode.
Next episode?
Yep, next episode. Otherwise, we gotta face the wrath of
Trey!
Serina. I'm feeling better today. I went to record it yesterday. If the yesterday was today, I wouldn't have done it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm feeling better.
I can't believe that actually made sense.
If yesterday was today, we wouldn't be here.
And it made sense. I understood what you meant.
So, Callie, you want to give a brief introduction when you come in? Like who you are, where you're from, and stuff like that? Kind of a little bit? 70 degrees, yeah, great.
Oh, God.
72.
72, yeah.
And I'm sitting in here with the space heater on.
Live from the Blind Ability Studio. This is the Tech Ability Show, and I'm Jeff Thompson from Friendly Freely, Minnesota, where it's, maybe 5 degrees if I stretch it a little bit. And in the studio, joining me, Serina Gilbert. How you doing?
Hi, Jeff. It's 19 in Colorado, and it's about to snow, according to the S lady. Well, S man. I have a man on mine.
You got voice number 3, right?
Yes, I call him Marcus.
Marcus. Yeah, I've noticed something about that voice. It seems like it's African American or something. There's something to it.
Apple doesn't even want to call them male or female or give any sort of race assignment to them or anything. Because remember, it used to be Siri male, Siri female, and now they just say voice 1, 2, 3, and 4. But I agree. I do believe that Marcus is of an African American descent.
Have him say hi.
Hey Siri, tell me a joke.
The mathematician showed up to the party to the surprise of the host. Oh, you're very early. I thought I told you the party starts at 7:45. The mathematician replied, yes, and it's 2.
Oh, 7:45.
8:15. That joke was not good.
Well, they may have fixed the voices, but they haven't fixed Siri.
That joke was horrible.
But also joining the Tech Abilities crew here, we have Callie Grey. Callie, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jeff. Thanks for having me on. Hi, Serina. How are you?
Well, nice to have you on the show.
Thank you very much. I'm here in sunny South Florida, where it's a very mild 72 degrees. And I, too, use Siri Voice number 3. I love him.
But you gals don't use it for voiceover, do you?
Absolutely not.
No, you just like
it's horrible.
You just like it for the serious short stuff and stuff like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an Alex guy. I use Alex for my voiceover.
I love Alex. He's my favorite.
Alex is too breathy. I use Ava for my voiceover voice.
Well, speaking of iPhones and all that stuff, that's where I'm usually using Alex. I use Alex on my Mac too, but on my iPhone, I got a new battery pack, the MagSafe Battery Pack. I got it on sale. Very cheap. It was like $74.
Cheap.
Well, compared to the $99 that you gotta spend.
Well, I'm jealous. I paid the full $99 for it because I was in a hurry to purchase it after my iPhone died while I was in paratransit.
You sold me on that story.
Yeah, I never want to be in that position again where there was going to be a showdown between the paratransit driver and one of the passengers over the fare. And I'm sitting there and I have no way to call for help if needed. My phone died, and then 5 minutes later, my Apple Watch also died. So I got home and I went online and I purchased it right away because I had heard Rocky talk about it on a previous Tech Abilities podcast. I'm like, I'm doing it now. It's needed.
And do you still use it? What's your, after all these days, all these weeks of using it, what's your opinion?
I absolutely love it. With paratransit, I can be in my paratransit bus from anywhere from an hour and a half to 2.5 hours, sometimes 3. And I run GPS whenever I'm in paratransit or any ride share, just because I want to know where I am at all times. And as you know, GPS uses a lot of battery. The lowest my phone has gotten down to was 67%. After doing all of that, it has not once died. 67% has been the lowest at the end of the day.
That's what I like about the MagSafe Battery Pack is it uses its power first, preserving your phone's power in a sense. I don't know how it really works, but it's just ensures that you have more juice than when you started from. I found out it's nothing you want to start your phone at 10% and slap it on there and try and juice up for the day. No, juice your phone up. But when you put them both together and plug it in, they both charge. I like it.
Yeah, I've noticed that too, because like when I leave in the morning, both my MagSafe Battery Pack and my iPhone 12 Pro are at 100%. And throughout the day, as I'm checking my phone battery power, sometimes it will dip to somewhere in the 90s, but then I'll check a few minutes later and then the phone is back at 100%. So that's the battery pack charging the phone again. So I really love it. And it just gives me such peace of mind being in rideshare. And, you know, because I'm not in the car with strangers, you know, a lot of times, and it just gives me a peace of mind for safety.
Yeah, I like it, but haven't been getting out very much at all during these times, and mine's been sitting there ready to go. It's like, let's go, Jeff, but it's like service dogs right now. Who's using them? I mean, who's getting out? Serina, you getting out?
Not really. I mean, as you all know, I permanently work from home. I'll have to do some occasional travel to go visit some sites and things, but that's maybe 3 or 4 times a year. Everyone keeps asking me, are you getting a new guide dog? Like, what's your decision? And it's like, it's a huge commitment, especially when you have a young guide dog, because it's super important at that first year or two to really set those boundaries and get them used to working and your new routine. And that'd be really hard to do. As I sit right now, I just don't have a long-term need for a guide dog right now. Yes, it would be awesome to have on those 3 or 4 overnight trips I have to do each year. But the rest of the year, you know, it's really hard to justify. So we'll see when we finally make it through the other side of COVID what that truly levels out to be. But as it stands right now, I'm not planning on getting another dog.
Your dog's safe for now.
He's loving retirement. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Lori's Logan is loving it too. He's become my pal.
Oh, did she retire him?
Well, he's 9.
Yeah, that was about when Weston retired, about 9-10.
He's not legally retired. I mean, but she's already called them, and she's on the spectrum to, I don't know, waiting list in a sense. But they're waiting, and she's going to contact them. But who knows what's happening right now. But at Microsoft, I just saw something come out from them. It came out before the holidays here. An adaptive kit for the Surface for accessibility. So if you have low vision, or if you're tactile, or if you have trouble with motor activities, they even have a little tab that you can open it with. So if you can grip it with something else, if you have trouble opening a tablet of sorts. But they have bumps and they have labels for your cables and stuff like that. And it's not that expensive. It's under $15. It's neat that they're doing something for accessibility, at least acknowledging it.
Is this for, because they have so many different product lines, this is for the laptop they have, right? Because they're all called, there's like the Surface Book. Is it for the tablet or the laptop? I'm guessing it's the laptop if you're saying to help open it.
They call it the Microsoft Surface Adaptive Kit. So it's for the Surface line.
So it's for the tablet then?
Yeah.
That comes with the little tiny keyboard. Okay.
I mean, it's something. I think it's really neat that they are doing something. Maybe they'll bridge that into other areas too. So it's a neat start.
But I read the article, and it can be used for more than the Surface laptops, because as I read it, I was thinking about ordering a pack for myself because I like the idea of the keycaps, especially on this MacBook Pro, just to get myself oriented on the F and the J keys on the keyboard. Because even though the MacBook Air does have just a very slight little bump on it that I can hardly feel, I sometimes get like lost. And I've got like a couple of bump dots on my MacBook for the tab key and that tilde thing. I have no idea what that is for, but I always press that, and I used to always press it instead of the number 1 for some reason. So I put a bump dot there so I know that that's the tilde and not the 1. And in the article that you sent to me, it says, you can also use them for like your appliances, your stoves, your microwaves and stuff like that. So it has uses beyond the Surface laptop. So I might check it out. And I love the cord organizer where you can label the cords with the port. I really do like that.
Yeah, it's not for everybody, but I've noticed some people have been talking about it. That tilde button, I think I should put a mousetrap on there because then I'll never go up there again.
It does have its uses, though.
Yeah.
When I used Outlook, which I don't use anymore, but the tilde key was used to jump to the body of the email.
Oh, so there is actual use for the tilde. Okay. I did not know that.
The one use.
It's like brackets. I never
used the brackets. Although, actually, I take that back. I had to use it. Our case management system required some customization in the JAWS settings to kind of make it work a little bit better. And we had to use those to type in some things. That's the only time I've ever used them.
I use it in transcripts when you do a text transcript, like where you say music, like music's playing. That gets in brackets. Like in the introduction, it'll start out with in brackets music, and then the person talks and stuff like that. So that's where I've seen it used lately.
Okay. Because like on my iPhone, I've got this folder called useless. If I had a keyboard folder, if I could take keys and put them in the useless folder, the tilde would go in there.
You can delete all those useless apps,
I know, but I might want to pull one out. It's like my Compass app has been in the useless folder forever. And then I saw on Twitter, somebody I follow, her name is Chancey Fleet. She tweeted something about the Compass being useful for navigation. And so I want to play around with it to see how it actually works, to see if there's something that I can actually use it for. I'm not sure if I will, because Apple Maps seems to work pretty good when I'm just out walking, and Good Maps is good too. I use Good Maps whenever I'm in rideshare or transit just to get the location as to where I am all the time.
So Callie is an app hoarder.
You know what, Serina? I'm not.
I want to see what's in that useless folder.
I do want to know what's in there.
Yeah.
Contacts.
On the next show, we're going to discover what's in the useless folder.
No, the true name of the folder of useless pieces of you can fill in the blank. That's the name of the folder.
I think that's even more funny.
Yeah, useless pieces of app.
That's what it's called. But I only have 3 pages, 2.5 pages of apps. I really don't hoard apps at all.
No,
Oh, wow.
I if anyone's an app hoarder, it's me. I have like 9 pages of apps.
I got 11.
Oh my God.
I used to have them organized, and then I had to restore my phone from carelessly upgrading to a beta. And when it restored, it messed up all the organization I had done, and I've just never fixed it.
Have you noticed that Apple has been putting their default apps in the front page? Like I just updated to the beta on my MacBook Pro, and all that's on the front is nothing I use. I mean, who uses some of these apps? Like there's Numbers, there's, all these other ones. It's like, okay, I got to start moving this stuff around.
Start deleting it, yeah.
Yeah, sliding it over.
But hasn't it always been like that? Like at least on the iPhone, whenever I get a new iPhone, it's always the Apple apps that are on the front, on the homepage.
A brand new one, yes, they will put all their stuff up front.
But they're rearranging your stuff, it sounds like.
Yeah, GarageBand.
Okay.
What? Anyways, AirTags. I remember when I first got the AirTags, I really liked them. And then Serina sent me a message one time that says, I'm coming back from Denver. And it just said it left my
AirPods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're using them. You have them with you.
I literally had them in my ear.
Oh my God.
Well, I had that happen a couple times. And the other day, the daughter was out coming back from, she had car trouble and stuff. So we were tracking her, because in Find My, you can have people in there too, which is really nice. Devices, people. And so we could see that she's progressing down towards the cities, 60 miles away, 40, 20. And then she was in Columbia Heights, which is a city past us. And then she pulls in the driveway and she's still like 3 miles away. And it's like, what's going on here? So I think they get into a glitch sometimes. I don't know what happened, but I like them.
Well, there's some really creative uses that people are doing with them, though. Like, well, some for good, some for bad. For good, a lot of people, because when you have, there's dog tracking devices that you have to pay like a monthly fee for and then constantly replace. So people are just buying the, I guess, holder, like that you could put on their collar and buying, the $25 AirTag, and you just replace the battery every year or two, and you've got a tracker on your pet if they get lost.
That sounds pretty cool.
The bad stuff I heard is like they see a nice sports car, they stick it to the bumper, and then they just track them to their home and they steal the car.
How do they? I mean, I saw that when you sent it, and I'm like, okay, that's really creative, but then how do they actually steal the car? Because modern cars, you can't just hotwire them, I
think if you're into that, that's their little hack, That's their bag, but it's kind of interesting that they're using AirTags to follow these things. So Apple is starting to change that you can now, even the Androids will be able to turn on a thing to see if there's an AirTag in their premises.
Oh, to detect if there's like that
NFC. Yeah, so I think they're shortening up that time frame. It used to be if there's been one in your area for 3 hours, it'll start beeping at you, But if it's on the back of your trailer hitch or somewhere underneath
you're never going to notice.
Yeah, you'll never hear that. I can't hear them sometimes when I'm in the same room because that sound is it goes in so many multiple directions. It's like I just get frozen. Like, where is it?
But I'm sure your iPhone or your device will get an alert that says there's an AirTag in your premises.
But why wouldn't they just steal the car while they were there, putting the AirTag on the bumper?
Because it's probably like broad daylight, so they're probably trying to get to a more remote location. And
those are amateur car thieves, because in Miami, cars get boosted all the time in daylight. I mean, it's gone in 60 seconds, literally.
Well, this was up in Canada, so go figure.
Oh, well, there you go. No, I'm just kidding.
They need to come south, and we can teach them how to do this.
It's too cold for them to be out there messing with that car.
But the other nefarious thing that can be done with AirTags, I've heard, if it's for stalking, women being stalked by other people, you put it on in their purse or someplace else where they're not going to notice it. That's something that's scary.
That is scary.
I don't have the AirTags because my keys go in a certain place. My masks are in a certain place. So I don't really use it, but I do use the Find My because I'm always leaving my iPhone somewhere within my 880 square feet.
I'm the same way. And then you push the thing to find it and it's like a foot away from you.
Yeah. And so I'll ask HomePod to ping my iPhone and I'm like, oh, it's right there.
I do it all the time. Or from my watch, I'll do it from there too.
Oh, you can do it from the watch?
Yeah, if you pull up the control center on the watch and then you hit ping iPhone, it only beeps once, but you can keep double tapping it until you find it.
That's kind of upsetting because if you use your S device,
it'll just keep going.
It'll keep on going. You find it, but when you're walking around with your arm up in the air, excuse me, I'm looking for something. Tink, tap, tap.
Because if you put your arm down, then it exits the screen.
I have plaster walls and I have a closet right by my front door and the door was shut and it says it's near Fridley. And it says it was like half a block away from me. And I said, wow, I must have dropped them out by the mailbox. So I go outside and I'm walking around with my phone going, here, find me, find me, find me. I'm just kind of...
Were you looking for your AirPods?
I've been looking for my keys.
Oh.
I didn't need them because we were going to my mom's and stuff and we're going to come back anyways. So as I'm leaving the premises, it says found near, and it was about 50 numbers off of my address. Like, wow, maybe the snowplow pulled them down the street. I didn't know and all that. Well, here when I got home, I was beeping it and they were in that closet, but you couldn't hear it.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder why it didn't locate it. Maybe it was the plaster walls, maybe. So I'm just thinking, So people, they're not perfect, but no. I've used them, I say about 10 times, and I love them 10 times. You know what I mean? Maybe I've used them 11, and I loved them 10 times.
So you lost your keys 11 times?
No, one thing is I walk away from the camper like I'm going to the swimming pool, and I get about 100 yards away, and it says, keys left behind, Oh. Yeah, of course. Well, I didn't need my keys. I'm going swimming. And so it's just neat. And then wallet left behind, 3 items left behind. It's like, geez, I'm very forgetful.
You have
getting
everything
senile.
tagged? Oh my gosh, Jeff. How many tags do you have?
Wait, you just have a 3-pack, didn't you?
I got a 4-pack and it was $99. Otherwise, you pay $29 for the tags. Lori has one on her camper keys. We figured for the camper because you're kind of in an area that you're not used to. Like, it's not home, it's a camper. And, if you leave them down by the pool, or something like that. So we thought those would be handy. I have them on my keys and then I have them in my wallet. There was a magnet in there for clasping clothes. So I swapped that out and put the tag in there and it fit pretty good. So I tried it. I don't think I need to get any more. I saw someone buy 16 of them. I mean, whoa.
Oh my goodness.
How many things are you planning on losing with 16?
Yeah.
Those are the ones using them to steal cars.
Or stalk people.
You're sacrificing them.
Where's my wife?
I don't own any.
Somebody said that they've put them on top of, like, if you live in like an apartment complex or, where everything appears to be the same when you're kind of tapping around, that they've put it in a discreet place where nobody would know it's there but you, and then pinged it to help them locate like their front door or something like that.
Oh, that's interesting.
Some people will put these, like, if you have a little hanger, they'll hang it on the inside of their door at a hotel. So then they can ping it and they can hear it as they walk by the door. They use the trackers to do that too. So when you're walking down the hallway, you don't have to grope all the braille or numbers or anything like that. You just hit it, and pretty soon you come along and you hear that beep, 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 beep. I can't even
Is
make
it
that
loud
noise.
enough to hear through it? Like, are they pretty loud?
I haven't done it. They said they've done it. So it's just, people have gotten creative with it. I've heard someone, they have row house type of deal. So like you said, they put it discreetly above their port where they walk up to their house, and they just got a ladder out and they stuck it up there. And when he's coming back from a walk, or they walking along, and all of a sudden he gets that sound and he knows where to turn. My battery's still at 100% and I've had them for 6 months.
I think they said the batteries last like 2 years or something.
Wow, that's cool. We should be out of COVID by then.
Hopefully. We thought we'd
not
be
if
out
you,
of it.
Not if you watch South Park. Like, that was depressing. I haven't watched the second half of it, but the first half, it was like 40 years later, and they're like, we finally got out of COVID.
Oh, God, no. Wait, 40 years later.
Which, by the way, South Park was described on Paramount Plus, so that was really cool.
How's the Paramount Plus app?
So my husband's sighted, so he does a lot of the navigating and when we're watching something together. So I'm ashamed to say I have not played with the Paramount Plus app with voiceover. Okay. I've played with the Peacock one, which is, it's whatever on the Apple TV. Then I got annoyed that, you can only watch 3 episodes of stuff and then you have to pay. So, so I haven't played with it too much. But I've been told that the Paramount Plus app is a bit problematic for voiceover users, though.
Because I'm dying to watch The Good Fight. And I'm like, oh, God, I just can't deal with that app. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Audio Eyes provided audio description for the Rose Bowl Parade in 2022 this year.
It was so cool. So for those of you that don't know, I do the social media for Audio Eyes, and I got to like live tweet it and share all the info, and every single comment that we received was 100% positive. This was a little bit different than other live parades that you've probably seen described, in that ABC allowed Audio Eyes to basically have their own audio feed that you heard on the secondary audio program. That was Terry Grossman and Herb Merriweather, and they were the commentary people. They did the descriptions, they did the color commentating, and you didn't hear anything from the actual ABC hosts, which when you're looking at something that's live and so visual as a parade, it is really hard to have description
Sneak
over
in there. Yeah,
the
you can't
host.
sneak in there.
It's impossible almost. This was a very, very unique experience. I was like, and I'm just going to be honest, I usually could not care less about parades. Like, it's not my cup of tea. The way that they did this, I was like so excited, and it was just so cool to watch it. And then they had a second feed on YouTube that was live, actually from the Rose Parade from a different vantage point, because they had reserved seating for those that were blind or visually impaired about halfway through the parade to get live audio descriptions right there. So then they also streamed that on their YouTube channels, which was 15 minutes behind the ABC feed. So you could see different banter between the different hosts. It was amazing. I've never seen anything like it before.
I'm glad that I did not describe it, because I would have started out with, it's like a vegan salad bar on wheels,
They actually quality assured these descriptions with a group of blind individuals because they were able to view the floats, so they could write some really good quality descriptions of the floats. And then if you're interested in, checking it out, it's still on the AudioWise YouTube channel, so you can watch it on demand now.
Great. I was going to ask you about that because I would like to go back and take a look at that.
Oh, it's so cool.
And I also want to give you credit, since you are the social media person for AudioWise, for starting the hashtag blind Twitter. I love that.
Oh, I did not start it. I didn't start it.
Oh, you did not?
No, I discovered it. I've just kind of, through listening through social media stuff, I've seen that people use it a lot. So I will put the tag there to kind of draw attention to the services that AudioWise provides. I did not start that one, though.
Okay. Well, Jeff, you have to cut that out since I didn't
No, it's totally fine. It's totally
I didn't know
fine.
that. But no, I prefer hashtag blind Twitter over hashtag blind, because hashtags blind can just mean so many different things, People can talk about their vertical blinds or their horizontal. I just don't know what it is, but I love the hashtag blind Twitter. So thank you.
I use that one a lot, as well as disability Twitter. The disability Twitter one is very active with a variety of disabilities.
Other than that, we've never had an original thought on tech abilities. So welcome to the show, Callie.
We got to start a hashtag tech abilities now.
Yes.
There we go. Tech abilities. The AirPods 3 came out, and I think they were a pretty big hit. You get the experience of having the spatial audio, but rumors have it. Serina and I are both, we're just dying for this.
I'm ready.
AirPod Pros 2 may be coming out with lossless audio.
This whole time, I thought I had lossless audio. I was so disappointed when I was reading an article.
You've been jumped.
I was like, well, this explains so much, because I had lossless on and the Dolby Atmos or Atmos.
Atmos, yeah.
And I don't know if you remember, Jeff, a while ago we were talking about how the track would almost skip before it would play.
Yeah.
And I think that I turned both of those off, and I haven't had that problem anymore on the AirPods. So I think that was the problem, is that they don't actually support either of those features, so it causes a glitch when they're trying to play.
Like it wants to, but
yes.
they didn't. Maybe they can, but they haven't updated it yet.
No, I don't. I mean, it says on their site that they definitely don't support it. So I don't know that they're going to get lossless through, though, because it requires a whole different technology, they're saying, to actually do that.
They're trying to work around the Bluetooth limitations. And from the way he said it, we're working on that. It's like, But they're not going to say how they're going to do it.
Well, they're also working on a self-driving car that will supposedly be here next year. So we'll see.
But do you think blind people will be in self-driving cars, Serina?
I am
not going to. And I just think there's so many different hurdles that will have to be overcome before blind people can get behind the wheel of a self-driving vehicle.
I think in any state that it will happen, it will be California first. But they've got to get through the federal highway requirements and stuff. Everywhere requires a license to drive.
Yeah, and the license to drive is a privilege. It's nothing that's automatic. Because I couldn't get my driver's license until I was 24, because all my life I've had horrible vision. I was a kid in class with the Coke bottle glasses who had to sit in the first 2 rows if I wanted to see the blackboard.
You were in my class.
Yeah, there you go.
You guys were best friends.
Could have been, so I didn't, I took driver's ed in high school, and I thought I was going to be able to get a license and everything. And I went to take the vision test, and nope, because my best corrected vision was 20/50. And in the state of Florida, you had to be at least 20/40. And so for years, I couldn't drive. And then I found an optometrist who worked with me, and I basically had to wear contact lenses and then a thin pair of glasses over them in order to pass the driving test and the drive. And when I got that driver's license, I was ecstatic. I couldn't believe it, because I was 24 and I thought I would never be able to drive. And then I got it, and I got back on the bus to go back home. And I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Shawshank Redemption, but there's this scene where he quits his job and he gets on the Greyhound bus to go to that town in Mexico to meet the other guy. Yeah. And he's sitting by the window. That's how I was. I was just I don't have to be on this bus any longer, and I got
You didn't have to climb 500 feet of sewage to get there.
No, but Red didn't have to do that. Red got paroled finally.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It was Andy Dufresne who had to climb, crawl through the sewage tunnel to get to obtain his freedom. But yeah, so it took a while, and I just don't know how that's going to work for blind people. I would presume legislation is going to have to catch up with the technology.
I have a good hunch. Fleets are going to be bought by Avis or these, companies that lease cars.
Lyft, Uber.
Yeah, Lyft, Uber, whoever this is. I mean, Lyft doesn't own a product. They have a software that goes in a phone. That's all they own. But when you have like Avis or something that probably has 10,000 cars, maybe they'll have the autonomous cars. And when you whistle down a car or fetch a car through your app or something, this vehicle just shows up and you get in.
Yeah, but when sighted people rent a rental car now, the insurance is off the chain expensive. Yeah, because I had a friend, her car was in the shop and she had to like rent a vehicle, and the insurance, it was like hundreds of dollars, by the time it all ended. You can't even bring a dog into a rental car because other drivers may have allergies to the dog. So there are all kinds of stipulations built into renting a car nowadays. And they also require that you have a valid driver's license. So if you're blind, how are you going to have a valid driver's license to show Avis or Hertz or whoever?
Well, here's the thing, though. Lyft did autonomous vehicle testing in Las Vegas, and they did not have drivers in those vehicles.
No, they actually did. They actually had 2 drivers. They were doing testing and stuff. They weren't operating it. One guy was explaining everything to everybody, and the other guy was actually monitoring everything. And that was the early days. I was at the convention, the last convention that was in Las Vegas, and I actually got to stand around the car and talk to the guy. I interviewed him a little bit, and some of my friends got to ride in it and stuff, and they said it was just different. It was really different. It's just because some of the premises, like when you get into the hotel area, they will not allow the autonomous car to go into the valet parking area without a driver, so that's why they had it there. I'm not calling you wrong. It may have changed since then.
Well, and I know in Phoenix too, because I was so jealous of this. They had I think they were autonomous minivans that they enrolled. It was Waymo or whatever, Google essentially enrolled families in it to essentially have access to these autonomous vehicles to get around Phoenix. I don't know what regulations they had to go through or what, but they've definitely tested these without someone behind a wheel.
Oh, I'm sure, but I would just be curious to see if those potential testers had valid driver's licenses. That's the thing, because like if you have an autonomous vehicle and there is an accident involved, who is responsible? I mean, who's going to insure the blind driver of the autonomous vehicle?
So when the autonomous cop pulls up,
oh, goodness. Well, so like the article that was published that was talking about Apple's plans, and there's rumors all the time, but they're saying that the Apple design doesn't even have a steering wheel, and the seats are like limousine style. So it's a U shape.
Oh, wow.
Where it's like everyone's facing each other talking because, quote unquote, nobody needs to be paying attention to the road because the car's doing it.
The roof.
So it's very interesting.
Yeah, I'm not ready for it. I'm glad technology is moving towards that. I'm not going to be an early adopter of it. I want to see.
When you're in a zone where 99% of the cars are autonomous, I think the accident will be that 1%, honestly.
The one that's actually a driver.
And I think it's going to be a while before we get that, because to me, like everyone I know who drives, especially men love driving. They love the act of driving, So even friends I know who have Teslas, they like driving that Tesla. I mean, they really do. It's like, so I just don't know. I mean, when I used to be able to see, I loved driving, even with the crazy traffic here in South Florida and getting flipped off every single day. And, I still loved the feeling of driving and having that control. So, I mean, time will tell.
I had my hot rods and I had my fun and stuff like that. But I tell you what, I can get a lot done getting driven around by James or whoever, whoever the Uber driver is. It's like you gain time. When I check out new cars or anything like that, I always look at the back seat first, because that's where that's where I'll be sitting, or I'll be sitting in the passenger seat. I don't go into the cockpit of it. I want to see what accommodations I have on the, shotgun or in the back. I want the armrest in the back, in the middle. I don't want a bench seat.
Leg room.
Yeah, and
captain seats.
Do your knees hit the seat and your feet hit the floor. I want some space there. I don't want my knees off this bench of the seat. There's certain things I look for. That's changed over the years. Yes.
Yeah. I remember my very first Uber trip that I took. I kept canceling 3 times. I just kept, no, I can't do this. And then I'm like, okay, let me do it. And I kept getting it. And it was the same vehicle because at that point I was low vision. I could kind of like see the car moving towards me. And I finally okay, I'm going to do this. I was like very scared. I'm getting into a car with a stranger. It was my first time. And it was a Mercedes. It was an E320. I was like, are all Ubers like this? And he was like,
absolutely
no.
not.
he was like, no. And I didn't even do like the Uber, XL or anything. It was just an Uber X. And he says, well, I was just in the neighborhood. So I accepted. I'm like, okay, cool. So it was like the best ride ever.
Oh yeah. I got into a Lincoln and it had white leather seats. He described it all to me. It was a brand new Lincoln. I'm thinking, what are you doing with a brand new car doing this?
Because you had to pay for that brand new.
I suppose, yeah.
Because I've got picked up by Cadillacs and stuff too, and I'm so judgy. I'm like, bet you're doing Uber to, but yeah. I do. I mean, I remember my very first one too. I don't remember her name, but I remember it was just a regular, just a regular like white sedan or something like that. But I remember being very nervous and anxious as well. And then when I saw that it was a female picking me up, I don't know. I just felt a little bit less nervous. I don't know how to describe it. It's different. It's just, as a female and getting into a car with it, it's always a little bit nerve-wracking,
So there are 2 people putting on makeup while you're going down the road then, huh?
And Serina, you need to watch Women Who Kill. So just so
oh my goodness. We talked about that last time.
So you need to watch that. Gosh. But in Miami, I'm so ecstatic. Uber has rolled. I'm not sure if they have this in other cities. It's called Uber Pet, where you can take your non-service animal pet in an Uber. So I have a cat and I've used it to go to the vet and it's awesome. You pay an extra fee. It's like an extra, it can be anywhere from like $3.50 to $5.50 for the Uber Pet, but it is so worth it to have that independence where I can get my cat to the vet instead of asking a friend to take me. So I love it.
Do you have to put the pet in a box cage?
A carrier?
Yeah, the cat goes in the cat carrier. But can I just tell you, the first time I used Uber Pet, and the drivers who are on the Uber Pet platform, they sign up for it. Not all Uber drivers will sign up for Pet Friendly, but the ones who sign up for it, they know what they're in for, right? Mm-hmm. So the vehicle arrives and I have my cat in the cat carrier and the dude opens the trunk.
Oh, God.
Because he says, you want to put him in the trunk? I'm like, no, it's not going in the trunk. It's going to go in the back seat.
That's horrible.
With me. Yeah, it was like, I was like, what the heck? But then he ended up being extremely nice. When I got to the animal hospital, he got me out. He got the cat out. He got me to the front door and everything. But I was like, oh. But then the woman who picked me up from the vet, she was super cool and everything, So, but I just thought that was funny. He asked me, he popped the trunk and wanted to know if I wanted to put the cat in the trunk.
Was it an SUV where it was like a...
No.
It was
No, it wasn't like a cargo area in the back of an SUV.
Oh, it was a trunk.
No, it was the trunk.
That's
and
horrible.
it was summer. It was like 90 degrees outside.
When he opened it up, there was like 6 other cats in there going, wow.
He's got it. That's why he's on the pet platform.
I just thought it was like weird, but all of my other interactions after that one time have been great. So I am very happy and pleased with the Uber Pets here in South Florida.
There you go.
And in actuality, all the anxiety that we have about like ride shares and stuff, I've only had really one absolutely horrible experience, and I'm pretty sure I got the dude fired. Really, it's just been one just really bad experience, and then others where when I traveled with my service animal, I'm of the mindset of I'm just going to tell you I have a service animal and I'm blind, and if you're going to cancel on me, just do it now and I'll get a new ride. Like, I'm not going to play this game of you coming and, it's just a waste of my time. So I've had people cancel on me for that, and that's very traceable, and I prefer Lyft because Lyft doesn't play. I like their customer service for sure.
They came out publicly, and they actually were a sponsor of the NFB convention. Mm-hmm. They came out and said that they want service animals to be, not used, but not abused.
To be welcome.
Yeah. You mentioned something that I haven't heard it for a little while, and you brought it to my attention when you sent me that email or that message. Spectrum Access. I remember when that came out, where you actually download it to your phone, and then the microphone syncs it up with the TV, so you can actually bring audio description into your phone and then watch TV with that movie.
Exactly. And I thought of it because the Audio Description Project has started tracking Spectrum Access titles to start adding, like, when new ones get added so people can know. And when I first received the info to post it, I was shocked. There's like almost 600 titles on Spectrum Access.
Wow, it's doubled.
Wow.
It was 300 when I first downloaded it.
Oh yeah, there's a ton. And what I thought of it is, I believe Chicago Med is on Netflix, but it does not have the audio description track unless this is very recently changed. They didn't acquire the audio description track, but it is on Spectrum Access. So if you really wanted to be able to watch it, you could queue up your Netflix and then have the audio description track come through the Spectrum Access app on your phone. So I wanted to bring that up and just remind people that that app's out there. The only downfall that I've noticed is they don't have, like, if you wanted to see, Spider-Man Homecoming, I think that's what, No Way Home. Spider-Man, that's the new one, No Way Home. You're not going to be able to, like, they don't have the current theater releases on there, it doesn't seem. And it's probably a licensing kind of thing, but there's a lot of stuff on there, especially television shows.
Can you explain something to me? Because I'm new and I've heard about this app, but I'm not familiar with it at all. How does it work? Do I have to have Spectrum as my cable provider?
You do not. No. It's a standalone app. It doesn't even require a sign-in. When you download it, you land right there on the home screen and you're ready to go.
Okay, so I find a show, and does it have the show or does it have the audio track only?
Some of them do, some of them don't. So some of them will have, like, the broadcast audio and the audio description kind of all together. And then, but most of them, it's just the audio description track. So it syncs to, like, you could start playing the show and then it kind of syncs to it. And then it'll sync the audio description track with it so that you're getting it at appropriate times in the show. Am
I getting it on the phone, or can I AirPlay it to the television?
You probably couldn't AirPlay it, because if you're playing your Netflix on your television and you try to AirPlay the Spectrum Access, that Spectrum Access is going to take over.
Oh.
So what a lot of people do is, there's some families that don't like hearing the audio description for whatever reason. So maybe they'll have earbuds in and have their audio description piece playing through their phone while the show is playing for the entire family.
Okay, interesting.
And with the AirPod Pros, you could turn it on transparency. Pick up both. Yeah. I like that. When it first came out, it's kind of an option to have. You flip through it and you start seeing it and you get reminded of these shows that, like Serina said, it's not the latest, but there's great ones in there, and you just give it a shot, give it a try, especially if you're interested in a show and they don't have it, or you don't know how to use it on, like you said, Paramount or something. But there's so many options nowadays.
Yeah, I said one of my New Year's resolutions, this is going to sound so lame, but I want to watch new movies and television shows, because I generally tend to fall back on comfort television. Things that I watched when I had vision, that even without audio description, I know what's going on because I've seen the episodes so many times, And so I haven't really caught on to a lot of new television. I mean, the only thing I'm still watching is This Is Us, that's on NBC, and Blackish. Those are like the only two current
You watched The Wonder
shows.
Years, I happen to know.
Oh, yes. The Wonder Years, yes. And The Wonder Years, the new Wonder Years reboot. So those are like the only three things that I'm watching. So I tend to rewatch the same thing over and over and over again. So I made a list. I'm like, these are the movies and television shows I'm going to watch this year that I've never seen. So I'll let you know how that goes.
Do you have Netflix?
Yes, I do have Netflix.
Given the conversations that we've had about women who kill, you need to watch Dirty John. I'm watching it right now on season 1. I know you would absolutely love it. And the audio description is... I'm just a snob about the way certain things are written. You'll be able to follow the show. I'm just picky about how they structure some of the audio description sometimes. But it's a great show.
When I used to have vision, I used to love to watch stuff like that. Like Forensic Files was my jam. I just love that.
And that one's easy to watch even now, because it's so... they just describe so much.
But can I tell you, since I've lost my vision, I tend to shy away from that, because I'm a huge fan of Law and Order SVU. Yes, I know it's almost as old as you are, Serena. I know.
It still comes on, though.
It does come on, but it's like one of those television shows because sometimes the crimes are like so creepy because like, especially like on a night like tonight was 72 degrees, I will sit here and I'll have like my windows and my doors open. And then sometimes the crime on SVU will be so disturbing. I'll be sitting here, I'm like, I need to close up everything because I don't know. It just scares me. So I tend to shy away from those things that I used to love, you know, because Silence of the Lambs is like one of my all-time favorite movies. I just can't watch it anymore. I
don't think that Dirty John will freak you out in that way. But I don't want to spoil it for you. You'll just have to watch it. It's not something where you're going to be like, oh my God, something bad's going to happen to me right now. It's not that type of thriller, if that makes sense.
Dirty John, is it a series or a movie?
It's a series, and it's more along the, oh gosh, what was that movie called? You'll just have to watch it. It's a thriller, but it's not something that you're going to go to bed and have nightmares about, I promise.
And one more question. How many seasons deep is it already?
It's only 2, but it's an anthology series, so I haven't got to season 2 yet, but from what I can tell, season 1's like its own story, and season 2 is its own story.
Okay, great. Because currently I'm watching on HBO Max, I'm trying to watch The West Wing, and that series started in 1999. I think it ran, I can't remember, like 6 or 7 seasons. Yeah, and this was during the time when NBC network television shows, they were like 22 episodes a season. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like up to like season 3, episode 10 is like, I gotta keep going through this. And it's just like taking me forever to get through it.
Yeah, the season 1 on this only has like 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's good. Because like my new rule is if it's more than like 4 seasons, I'm not going to try to invest in it.
Oh, I love it when it's lots of seasons like that because I'll just stick with that one show and watch it until I'm done.
Oh God. I have the attention span. You ever see the movie Up?
I haven't.
Oh God, it's a cute little movie. But there's this dog in there. His name is Doug, and he's got like a very short attention span. I'm like Doug the dog, you know, because he'll be talking to his master, and then he'll all of a sudden go squirrel, and then he'll come back to attention. I'm like that. I just can't. So, but that may be an age thing though. But I will check out Dirty John. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll check it out. Jeff, are you there?
He fell asleep.
I see your 3 cookies, and I raise you 1 cupcake.
Huh. Marlon's feeling pretty good about himself right now. Okay, 1 cupcake it is, and I call ya. Whoa, I gotta go. Thanks, Astro.
Perfect timing, Astro. Perfect timing.
Hey.
Okay.
I was listening in.
No, the last time I heard him was he made that crude reference to
yes,
Silence
and you ignored him.
And I ignored him. I ignored him.
Serina, you added something to the outline, and I thought it was kind of neat technology goodies that we got over the holidays. Anybody?
The irony of that is that I didn't get any technology goodies, but I bought my parents AirPod Pros, which in retrospect, I should have just bought them the AirPod like 3 because my mom it was a task teaching her how to use it. I think she finally gets it, but I think it was a little overwhelming for her. Because of all the different features with it, you know.
Why is my house so loud?
I think we should have Trace sit in for Serena as far as tech goodies that they got this season.
Yeah, he got everything, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Trace should sit in.
Nerf gun, another Nerf gun, a scooter,
and his television and other things he's got.
He's the only grandchild on my parents' side.
Oh, so he gets spoiled.
Nice. And only nephew, because my sister spoils him too, and yeah.
Aww, that's great. What did you get, Jeff?
I think the only real technology thing is the same thing you got, except I got the USB version and you got the 3.5, the Sennheiser consumer, they call them, headset. And it works really good. You're using yours right now.
Mm-hmm. I love it. And from what you've told me, it sounds very good. I actually have 2. I have the USB for the PC, but since my PC is kind of like on its way out, I'm not using it. But I like the USB version better because it has a mute button. Mm-hmm. The 3.5 millimeter version does not have a mute button on the headset.
But it's really hard to tell. I've never liked Bluetooth microphones for recording a podcast, and headsets have always been iffy. But when I heard
Lisa Bryant come on with hers, it was like, wow, where'd you get that? And she mentioned that it came from David Goldstein, and he uses his on his podcast called I Can't See You podcast. It's like, wow. So for $25, I think yours was even less. I had to get it because I use it for my Zooms now because it's just so easy. You just slap it on and you're set to go. Like here, I'm facing a microphone and, everything and all that stuff, but that's audio. But these work really good. I like them. They're the best I've heard.
Yeah, I really like them too. And I love the price. So that was one thing. But I did get one goodie.
Uh-oh.
I got a pair of Aftershocks Aeropex headset. And the reason I purchased them, I like not having something in my ear and I can hear everything that's around me. I do have the AirPod Pros, and whenever I am in rideshare or paratransit, I would put it in transparency mode. But I would just get distracted. And, when I would be out walking, I would put it in transparency mode. And it just didn't work for me. I like having my ears open. And so I actually love them. It took me about 30 minutes to get used to the bone conduction.
It's so different, right?
Yeah. But now it just doesn't bother me at all. And the battery life on these things are amazing. So I really like them. So they're my preferred headset when I'm in paratransit or out walking because, like I told Serina, my attention span is very short and I live in a development where all of the townhouses look the same. And I was coming back from taking out my trash one day and I was listening to music and I missed my turn. And so I went one set of townhouses over too far.
AirTag time.
No, and I get to the front door and I feel a gel mat and I don't have a gel mat. And I'm like, I'm at the wrong door. And Florida, as I've said, is a stand your ground state. So, if the owner had wanted to shoot me at the front door, they could have, but
nighttime ain't no time to be in that neighborhood.
Really. But, little kid who saw me, he says, you're at the wrong house. And I'm like, thank you. Can you tell me where I need to go? So he guided me back to my place. Yeah, he's adorable.
What's his name, Trey?
All the way in Miami.
He sounds just like Trey, though. He is so awesome. There's one time I was coming from the mailbox and he helped me find the concierge box where a package had been delivered. And
those are always a pain.
Yeah, and he followed me back, and I didn't notice him until I heard his bicycle, and he was behind me, following me back. And then I turn into the area where my townhouse is, and I get to my door. He says, "Good job," and I was just like, "Oh my gosh!" I was like, "Thank you."
That's like an audio high five right there.
I know. He was like, "Good job," and I just kind of chuckled to myself. I'm like, he's such an angel.
You just made me think of because we have a community mailbox and then there's probably a dozen of those little, you get the little key and you're like, oh gosh, which box is it? 90% of the time I guess correctly because I think they try to keep it near your box. So I just guess and usually I'm right, but during Christmas time, I always if I know I'm getting a key, I'm I either bring my phone so I can have Ira help me or I bring my kid.
Yeah, that's what I've done. Ira has saved me because there was one day I was almost in tears because usually if something gets put in a concierge box for me, I can generally find it within 4 boxes. But there's this one day I tried 10 boxes and I couldn't find it. And I was just about to burst into tears.
And it was probably something you were super excited to get
It was, And so somebody came and I'm like, can you tell me which concierge box this says? And they pointed to me, they got it to me. I was like, thank you. But now that I have Ira, I go to my concierge box with confidence now.
Oh, there's an ad right there.
Exactly.
Ira, AIRA.
Well, and sometimes they don't, I've never understood this system, but sometimes the keys are really hard to even get to work. You feel like you're turning it and you're going to break the key.
Yeah. Yeah, I have had that. And I'm like, am I at the right box? And the agent will say, yeah, you're at the right box. I'm like, gosh darn it. But yeah, but I want my artisanal soap and I want my body butter.
Yep. See, it's never something dumb that's in there. It's always something that you've been tracking all day to see if it got delivered.
I'm like, I'm waiting for my strawberry and cream,
That sounds amazing.
Oh God, there's this website called Tender Organics. She makes this stuff out of her home. It's amazing. A friend turned me on to it like about 3 years ago, and I've been a fan ever since.
I love
Tender
good smelling
Organics.
stuff like that.
Yeah, Tender Organics. It's amazing, Serina. I think you will love it.
We got to play some little chimes, little wind chimes. Yeah.
We need to start getting sponsorships, like as much stuff as we sell to people.
And she
selling
takes
laptops
Apple Pay.
That's always nice. I like it when because I have a PayPal. I love using my PayPal because when I was younger, I used to have all my card numbers like memorized and security codes, and now I don't bother because it's just I don't have the space.
I have one MasterCard memorized and I have one American Express memorized.
You're
Those
better
are like
than I
the
am.
only two.
I have nothing memorized.
See, I'm from the old days, Serina, where we actually memorized phone numbers. We had to know phone numbers for people.
And
now,
they say that's a lost art nowadays.
Yeah. So I'm like, I just can't. I don't know. It's a lost art.
There's no reason to nowadays. It's just boom. You just tap it. Boom. There you go.
Yeah. But, I'm not going to give any spoilers here, but I was watching This Is Us yesterday, and there was like this segment, and I was sitting there thinking, oh God, what's going on? Is that happening to me? And it was just like, But
This is Jeff. I'm on the air.
She went off script.
I won't tell
see
you
that.
anything. But
Shall
the
I hit
audio
the eject
description
button?
for that
No,
show
Marlon, not after
is
what happened
amazing.
last week.
I could
I
not
got this.
enjoy it
Okay,
as much as I
fine.
do without the
Going
audio
to plan,
description.
Castaway.
Especially when things are being
Intent.
texted between each other
9.
so much, and the acting is so
7.
nuanced where there won't be any dialogue.
It's very visual.
Yeah.
3,
So I'm grateful
2,
for the audio
and
description for
1.
that show.
Castaway, the first half of the movie.
Oh gosh, no.
All you hear is a bunch of water.
Yeah. And every
And then
now
all
and
of a
then,
sudden he's yelling at Wilson.
Wilson! That's a great example of audio description when it's needed.
Very much so.
Yeah.
They got to trade off audio describers like tag team for the first half, and then they can glide through the rest of
Because
it.
it's like a 3-hour movie, isn't it? It's pretty long.
It's a long movie. I only saw it once.
I've seen it once and I was bored, so I don't remember much about it other than the Wilson thing.
I wasn't bored because I was going through my Tom Hanks phase at that point where he could do no wrong. It was like back in the 80s where when
Green
Steven
Mile.
Spielberg would release a movie, I would go see it. It didn't matter because he was just like the king. Because there was a time where I would go to the movies even if I knew going in it was going to be a horrible movie, just because I liked the movie going experience of seeing it on the big screen, and of course movie theater popcorn.
We have gone to the movie theater just to buy the movie theater popcorn and brought it home.
No way, Serina.
I'm not joking. We've
Are
done
you
that
serious?
multiple times.
Are you serious?
That's like 10 times the normal cost.
Per kernel.
Well, here's the funny thing. Well, first of all, nobody can make it like them. I'm sorry. You just
I
can't.
100% agree.
But we bought, so Cinemark has where, they probably don't anymore, but in January of 2020, we bought the bucket that you could just get refilled every time for like $3.75. So you pay like $20 for the bucket and they fill it up. And then you can bring it back as many times as you want that whole year, and it's only like $3 or $4 to get it refilled.
Oh, that's a great deal. That's
It would have
worth
been if it
driving
wasn't
there.
January 2020, and March 2020, everything shut down. No, but the theater's literally only like a 7-minute drive from our house.
40
that's
people
great.
lined up outside with buckets all pissed off.
Everyone would buy that. I mean, because it was a good deal. We also had like the movie pass thing. So like my husband would be at the movie at least once or twice a month.
Wow.
When you think about paying for like a large, because our large popcorns, I forget how much they are. They're like $8 or $9, but you get a free refill on it. So you could like bring back the bucket and you get a totally free refill on it. So it's like $4.50
$8 or $9, that's it?
for large. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe it's 10 now.
Wow.
I could be a little off, but it's not. I'm not sure if they still do the free refill
Well,
thing
the
anymore.
average temperature here's a lot lower too.
Yeah.
Miss Miami.
Miami is a tourist location.
Yeah.
No, movie theater goers hated me because like I would go to the movies and I would always go to a matinee whenever I would go by myself. And I'm the kind of person, I would tell the person behind the counter, I'm like, okay, for the popcorn, fill it halfway.
Yep.
Give me the bucket. Let me go get some butter to put it on, and then I'll
Yep.
come back. And then I would hear people behind me going, "Are oh God. I like look at them like, okay.
But you run out of the butter halfway through.
I'm like, this bucket of popcorn cost me $15. I'm going to get it the way that I want it.
That
people.
must be really good popcorn for $15.
They make good popcorn. Like, I don't know. There's just something about the movie theater popcorn. I mean, we've popped our own popcorn before, like from the seeds and everything, and buttered and salted it ourselves.
What's your favorite drink from the theater?
It's got to be a slushy and icy.
No, for me, it's
really?
Coke. I get the same thing. Popcorn,
Gotta be
Coke,
an icy.
and the Nestle Crunch little bite things.
Ooh, those are good.
Those
They're
are like
perfect.
Yeah.
Lemonade. They have a different flavor of lemonade.
Maybe yours does.
Strawberry or raspberry lemonade or something.
Raspberry lemonade, yeah.
But for me, it's always the same. Coca-Cola, popcorn, and the Nestle Crunch.
Have you ever reached into your popcorn and there's a wet one?
That's the best ones.
That's the one that soaked up all the
That's
butter,
got all
Jeff.
the butter.
Yeah.
And here, so Callie, I'm super weird. Do you like the popcorn when it's kind of been sitting a while and it's almost stale? Like, I'm weird.
Just
No.
pre-stale. Just pre-stale.
Pre-stale.
Really?
Yeah, not like weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like popcorn that's kind of been chilling a while.
Oh my God. No, I treated myself over the holidays and I ordered from Garrets Popcorn in Chicago.
Whoa.
They have this bucket. It is cheddar cheese and caramel mixed together.
Oh, Chicago style. I've recently learned that that's what that's called.
It is heavenly. The name of the company is called Garrets Popcorn. It was delightful.
And if
that
you ask now,
salty
you can get 2 boxes of
cheese.
Garrett's popcorn. We got to start getting some sponsorship from these companies. You know?
My God. Garrett's Popcorn is awesome. If they want to sponsor by sending me a bucket.
Influencer.
There you go. I like
That
the
would be
kettle corn.
Ew, don't like kettle corn. Cheddar cheese popcorn is like my favorite after movie theater popcorn.
How about the white cheese? Have you had the white cheese?
That's good too.
No, I haven't.
I don't like it all over my fingers, the cheese stuff. It's like eating Cheetos. And then you go use your phone and it's like, give up.
Yeah. You definitely have to wipe down your fingers
Wipe your
before you
hands
go
first.
before you go to your phone with Cheetos.
Well, you should be in theater mode. Has anybody ever put it in theater mode?
I just put mine on vibrate.
What is theater mode? Is that on the phone? I know there's airplane mode.
I know your watch has theater
Your watch
mode.
has theater mode.
Yeah, the watch.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what it does.
Does that
but
put your phone in that mode as well?
I don't think so. I think it makes it so the watch doesn't light up.
Oh.
Ooh, or ring.
How much of this movie theater popcorn conversation is making it to the show?
I think it'll make it to the front of the show, but it will leave
Oh
it out.
God, no.
Happy New Year to everyone. Callie, thanks for coming on, and we're going to have you on a lot more often.
Looking forward to it. I really enjoyed talking with you guys, and hopefully I can bring something to the table here because I have learned so much from you guys, from your conversations on tech abilities. So I'm glad to be here.
Where's Serina go?
You didn't ask me to say anything.
I usually don't have to. And you see her on Twitter all the time, don't you?
Oh my God, Callie is like our biggest supporter of all. I run so many different social media accounts, and Callie is always supporting all of them. So I really appreciate that.
Well, I tried. I didn't even know you were behind Audio Eyes, But when they tweeted about Wonder Years, I'm like, I love Dean. And there was this episode where he got his man
you made
card
me laugh
from his dad.
so hard
And I
when
was
you
just like,
replied to that. I was rolling. And then cue our funky music, right?
And for more podcasts with the Blind News Perspective, check us out on the web at www.blindabilities.com, on Twitter at blindabilities, and give us a call at 612-367-6093. Leave us a message and let us know if we can put your voice on the next podcast. Drop us an email at info@blindabilities.com and download the free Blind Abilities app from the App Store and Google Play Store. That's 2 words, Blind Abilities. And from all of us here at Blind Abilities, through these challenging times, to you, your family, and friends, stay well, stay informed, and stay strong. I want to thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed. And until next time, bye-bye.
And then cue our funky music, right?
And for more podcasts with the blindness perspective, check us out on the web at www.blindabilities.com, on Twitter at blindabilities, and give us a call at 612-367-6093. Leave us a message and let us know if we can put your voice on the next podcast. Drop us an email at info@blindabilities.com and download the free Blind Abilities app from the App Store and Google Play Store. That's 2 words, Blind Abilities. And from all of us here at Blind Abilities, through these challenging times, to you, your family, and friends, stay well, stay informed, and stay strong. I want to thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed. And until next time, bye-bye.
When we share
what we see
through each other's eyes, we can then begin to bridge the gap
between the limited expectations and the realities of blind abilities.
The realities of blind abilities.